Now, what you want to do sometimes when you're done making stuff up or just starting to is to save what you got so far. And so right here, we have our save button. I press the save button here, and we got a lot of options here. It's pretty intense there, as you can see. We got about, looks like about 11 options. Was that 7 plus 6? Whoa, yeah. We got 13 things we can possibly do. Let's get busy with this. I can save a project. So come to here. I want to save that project. This project got resaved. Okay, cool. I'll press save again. And now I can do save project as. So I can have a new name. So far it's called demos import. I can give it a brand new name. This is really cool when you want to save something and you want to save, let's say you're doing a commercial, right? You want to save a 1-minute spot, a 2-minute spot, maybe in a 30-second spot, and maybe a 45-second spot. You can save them as separate ideas this way. It'd be kind of cool. Or you may want to save for a new idea for a different song with the same sounds. You never know. But you can save as a different project. Now let's get out of this one and press cancel. Right back here again, I'll press save again. Now save here is I can bring in a new project. Let's say, for example, I'm tied this project right here. I want to get a new project going, and what I'll do is I'm just going to press save or press new project. And so now it's looking for, well, you want a little new project? Okay, no problem. So I'll go back to the same thing I had before in there. It'll load it up. But this is the way we can save our project if we want to do that and just say, okay, I want to save this old project, open up a brand new project. Let's hit save again. Now here we have, I can save a track. I can save one track that's inside of that project. That's pretty simple to do. You come to here and you say you want to save a track and say which track you want to save. The name of that track will appear here, and then I will save that track wherever I want to save it onto my hard drive in the space. Now next, let's go to here. We're going to press save again. And now we want to look at saving our track effects rack. So I want to find out what's going on here with this effects rack, right? So I may want to save something I do. For example, I'm going to close this out here, and I'm going to open up right here. I'm going to go here to my output 1 and 2, and I'm in effects right here, and I'll play this back. Okay, that sounds good. So maybe when I want to come to here, I may want to get it louder or something, get it tighter, without having to get much more louder in volume. I want to make sure it's a tighter. So I'm going to go to here to dynamics. I want to get a limiter. I'll put a limiter here and I'll press select. Now as you see, I got a limiter already here. I got a parametric EQ, then I got a maximizer. So these things are working. But now I want to get more oomph out of this thing. And I'll play this back. Pretty much the same. I'll tap here, just hold this down for a second. It didn't change at all. Nothing changed there. Hold down again. Now it's back on, nothing changed. What I want to do here then, I would like to open that up. I see I have the initial setup right here. And we see this audio going into this track. We have the in and the output. We have the gain at 0, ceiling at 0, and the look ahead at 0 as well. Or at least it's about 316 mega. Go back to here. That's a little tighter right there. So we got 360 milliseconds still, but now we have 0.5 milliseconds look ahead, and we increase the dB by 3.5 dB. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit this here, and it's less power. I put this in here, much more tighter. So if I like that and say I did that, I may want to save this. So I'm going to press save right here. I want to save track effects rack. Hit that again. And now we can save it. I can have it right here. I can name it right here. And once I do, I want to get a folder where I save it at. Now to keep track of this, normally what you're going to do, you want to find out where you're going to save it. So this is Documents, MPC. So you'll see here, what I'll normally do is put it in my Documents folder. I'm going to come to this Documents folder here, and then save it in that folder, and maybe find a specific place I can save it within that folder. or I'll just make a brand new folder to put inside that folder. I'll call FX, I'll press do it, and now I have a folder that I have there. And you see here, effects, and I put a folder called effects. That's to be new effects rack, we'll call this. I'll just call this, rather than that name, I'm gonna go to here and go backwards. I'm gonna say master space effects rack. I'll press do it. Then I'm gonna save it there. I press save. And now I've saved it there. Pretty simple. If I want to bring it back up, I can. Now that I've saved it, can I bring it back up? So here, I can go right here. I want to go right here. And now we see FX racks. I have the factory presets, and I have my own. I'll go to here, it says user. There's that folder I made up called FX. I'll tap on this again, and there it is, master effects rack. Now I can also save more things, of course, obviously, since you have 13 things to actually show you. Oh, we have here the drum program. So our drum program, of course, consists of all these drums here, right? And I may want to save this entire program and use these drums again. Now, you know guys have been doing this. You've heard Dr. Dre have the same drum sounds, Timbaland the same drum sounds. It's part of your signature of your sound is your drum sounds, right? So you want to save your kits as much as possible. And so what we want to do is save a drum program. We come right here, tap that up there, and we can save that drum program. Now I'm gonna go back here to main, you'll see the name of it. That's the name of that program right there. Or we call it track now. So it's a difference of what I guess the old schoolers like and what the new schoolers get is a track, but it's actually a drum program. And we save all this information about all these pads, where they were, their pitches, and what was applied to each pad. And it's a great way to save your drum program. Always cool to do that. Now next, I'll go back here to save again. And we can also save a sample. I come right to here. I want to pick a sample I want to save. This is pretty simple, and it's to the point. You want to save a sample, you're going to find a place to put it. I got this right here. I'll find a place somewhere. I may want to go to here and say, I want to go to my MPC document. I got this right here. I got folders in my MPC documents. Ooh, I can look in here. Where am I going to save it at? I may save it in my kits. I may save it somewhere else in here, but you'll find a place to save. If not, I'll make a brand new folder and save it in that folder if I want to save that sample. Let's go back here to main again, and I'm going to press save again. And now we can also save clip as audio. If I have a clip that has a bunch of sounds on it, and I like it, I can save that as audio. Pretty simple thing to do. Clip as a as a MIDI pattern. I'll save the MIDI information. I can also save all clips, each clip separately. I can also make a mix down. That means mix everything down and get an audio file. So that means I will come to here. I listen to my track. Let's listen to the track. Let's go back to here. Let's get something different here. Let's tap here. Let's hear this. Okay, I can take this one here. Let's say I want to save this down, right? So I'll go to there. I'm going to go back to save. I'm going to go into save and I say, I want to save this down as a mix down, audio mix down. And so this is only about 4 bars long. And I've got a output of 1 and 2. It's my stereo output. I also have wave file. I'm going to save it's a wave. 24-bit. Now me, I'm not that kind of guy. I like 32-bit. Now the reason why I like 32-bit is because 32-bit has no aliasing, and dithering. That's dithering. Okay? And these things create pops and clicks inside your mix. It's sort of like sometimes. And so I prefer to be 32 float. And then here, of course, you can do 48 or you can do 40. You can go even higher. The larger your sample rate in terms of kilohertz, the larger and the bigger the file is, the more space it takes up. So have a purpose on why you want to use it for that much space. So me, I do prefer 48 myself. Now I'll just say, go export that sucker. So we're just going to export it. Perfect. Now it's asking me, where do you want to export it to? Right? So it's important to know where you're going to send your files and where you're going to put them at. But once you're done, you send those files out. It'll appear in that part of your folder. Once you get there, you can pull it back up. It'll sound exactly as it is it'll be the exported file with whatever effects were on it, and it'll also have that sound that it had originally, and you can take that and put it on your, I guess, your phone or your Walkman. I'm going way back now. Anyway, you get the idea. You want to save that file and hear it back. Now next for our save, we've got right here the last two items. One is the Ableton Live set. You can save this set and bring it back up in Ableton, and we'll save everything you've got there. Akai has had this system going on with Ableton for years. It's pretty simple to do, and you can put together pretty quickly, and check out your manual for that one. Also, I have drum pads as stems. So sometimes I may want to take my drum pads and save them as stems. Each pad will be saved as a separate stem. And these are my outputs here, wave. I have a bit depth of 32 float, and I've got a sample rate of 48 hertz. The reason why I like 48 hertz is good for video, that's for sure. And what I would do is I'd export this out, and each one of those files would be exported out directly to the hard drive here on my MPC XL. I get a folder for it, I say put it right there, and once I did, I'd pull it out, and I go to, let's say, Logic, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, Luna, Studio One, which is now Fender Studio Pro 8, and I would probably go to Cubase, or Pro, whatever it is. And you can take these stems out and then put it right in those softwares, and you hear the same track back based on, I guess, pretty more than anything else, how long that this sequence was and how long these pads played for. And so each pad would be one stem length. Pretty simple stuff to do, but it works and it's easy to do.